And get a look at that. In here, look at that.
The Big Daddy Barbecue Burger.
Ultimate breakfast burger. Tri-tip ribs. Volcano steak.
Beef short ribs.
3 turkey legs. Pork butt. Brats, armadillo eggs, chuck roast. Wow. Sometimes, I just want some grilled vegetables. You heard me right. Vegetables. Not beef, not chicken, not pork, not turkey, not bacon. In fact, if I'm somewhere eating and they have grilled vegetables on the plate, I'll eat the grilled vegetables before I go for anything else like brisket or pulled pork. I love grilled vegetables, and today I want to show you my favorite grilled vegetables. So what I have here are 3 different types of vegetables that are my favorite to grill. I've got mushrooms, big old portobellos, zucchini, and some peppers. First thing I've got to do is I've got to clean these up and get them ready for some seasoning, because each one is going to be seasoned differently. I'm going to start with the peppers. Want to clean out the inside, get rid of the seeds and the core. Just going to go around the stem. Have a little dish to throw your seeds and stuff in, makes cleaning up the cutting board a little easier. We're just going to try and get as many of the seeds out as possible before we cut this. I'm just going to break this down into 4 pieces. And if there's any seeds or any little loose pieces left in there, go ahead and get those out now. Just like that. I'm going to break the other peppers down, and then we're going to move on to the zucchini. With a good sized zucchini like this, I like to break it down into 4 pieces, so basically quartering it. First thing I'm going to do, take off the ends. We're going to do our best to cut it straight down the middle. If it's not exact, it's not a crime. And then we're going to do one more slice down the middle so that we have 4 sections just like that. I'm going to break the other one down and move on to the mushrooms. Mushrooms are a little different because there's really not a whole lot to do except this stem. Now, if you like having that stem there when you're going to cook it and grill it and eat it, leave it. I like to actually take this off if I'm going to be grilling these large mushrooms. So I just go straight across, just like that. Leaves this nice little stem piece there that's in the center, sort of out of the way. Now it's time to move on to seasoning. I'm starting with the peppers here because to me, these are the easiest to season. They have such flavor inherent in them, especially when you grill them, that all they need is a little bit extra. First thing, I'm just going to drizzle a little olive oil on them. And you get in there and just sort of move these around. Get a little bit of a coating on everybody. And then I'm simply just going to add some salt and pepper. And not even a lot of that. A little bit of pepper. That's it for the peppers. Let's move on to the mushrooms. Now, one of the things about mushrooms is this little sort of absorbent fan area in here. I know it has a technical term, but I can't remember what it is. All this is a sponge. If you put a lot of oil in there, it's going to absorb that oil and it's just going to sit there. So really what I like to do is go light on the oil on this side and get more oil on the other side, this cap side of the mushroom, and then get seasoning on both sides. So I've just got my little tray here to make things a little bit cleaner. Just going to put a little bit of olive oil here. We're just going to rub this around on this side. Then I'm going to hit this with some Italian seasoning, just a regular old little box Italian seasoning. So I think that works really well on mushrooms. And a little bit on the inside here. Now you notice I didn't put any oil here because, again, I don't want this to get spongy and soaked with oil. It's just going to be oily. Just kind of push it in there, rub it down a little bit. Mushrooms are ready for the grill. My favorite to season is zucchini because I like to treat it like a piece of meat. I use a rub on it. First though, I got to get a little olive oil on here. These don't have a lot of inherent surface moisture So this does help the rub to stick. I know if you've watched my videos, you know that I generally don't use a binder on, meats like, ribs or pork butt or things like that. I feel there's enough moisture on the surface of the meat to generally hold the rub. If you use a binder, that's fine. But on vegetables, there's just not a lot of surface moisture there. All right, now I'm gonna hit it with some rub. And today I'm gonna be using a Flaps 20 Thriller rub. Gonna work it in here, get it over every side. Make sure you get these guys on the bottom back up to the top. Don't let them hide. And get all sides, even the skin side. There we go, all seasoned up. It's time to get this zucchini, the peppers, and the mushrooms out to the Weber Kettle. All right, I have the Weber Kettle set up with the vortex giving me a little bit of an indirect space on here. That's really important for the zucchini, which I like to use a little bit of that space for. But first, I'm gonna start with the peppers. I'm gonna be using a grill basket for the peppers. It makes it so much easier. We're just gonna dump them in. Gonna make sure everybody's spread around there. Now you could do these directly on the grill without a basket, but I just find a basket makes this so much easier. I'm gonna let these go for a minute, get a good char on one side. Move them around if you have some hot spots. And go ahead and start turning them when you're getting color. Some will get color before the others. You're gonna turn them several times. At least that's the way I do it. And I don't like my grilled vegetables super soft, especially peppers. I like there to be a little bit of bite, kind of like with ribs. I don't like ribs falling off the bone generally. And with this basket, you can easily move the peppers over hotter spots in the fire, or completely off the fire if you need to. And if any of your peppers get to the point where you think they're done, you can just take them off, put them on the indirect side of the grill for a minute. Let's see how some of these are doing. See that one? He's going to the indirect side now. That one, give a little bit more on that side. This one too. These have just such a wonderful sweet flavor. This guy's going off now. Just about done with these last two. Give the undersides just a little finish. Let's move these off. Okay, our peppers are done. I'm gonna put these in a foil pan and we're gonna move on to our mushrooms. Now the mushrooms I will treat similarly to the zucchini. They're gonna go directly over the coals for a minute. Wanna make sure you keep an eye on these. We don't want them to burn. Just wanna get some good grill marks on there. Let it start to soften up. Then, if you start seeing wisps of smoke, turn it over. And we're gonna go this way a very short time, just like 10 seconds. Take it off, turn it back over. And now we're gonna move these indirect. All right, we have our mushrooms indirect, and now we're gonna get our zucchini on before we move it indirect. I'm gonna do this a few pieces at a time here, so we don't overload the vortex. And remember, the vortex gets screaming hot. Give it a turn. Give that about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna turn it to the side that hasn't had any direct grilling yet. Give that about, 20, 30 seconds. Good. Let's flip it back on the back just to check what we're looking like. Looks good. Now we're gonna move these indirect and grill the other 4 pieces. Give that about 20, 30 seconds, and we're just gonna flip it onto the back. Flip it over to its final side. I think I did that right. I don't know if I rolled it the same way. We'll see. Give that about 20 or 30 seconds. All right, see how we're doing? Looking good. All right, we're gonna move these indirect. Now we're gonna get the lid on the Weber kettle and let these go for about 10 minutes to finish cooking indirect. All right, that's 10 minutes. Let's see how we're doing. Looking good. Let's check the zucchini. Really, it's just sort of a touch test for me. You have to do it to the level of doneness you like. Yeah, see, soft through. I can feel that kind of spongy. I don't like my vegetables like this mushy. Let's take a look at the mushrooms. Same thing with the mushrooms. We want them a little bit soft, but not completely charred, burned, and mushy. See, we got a nice little bit of color on the bottom, but it's not completely burned up. And these actually get a little bit of sauce when we eat them, because I treat them like a piece of steak or hamburger. All right, I'm gonna get these in the foil pan, get them inside. We'll have a taste. So here are my favorite grilled vegetables. You can see the zucchini, the peppers, the mushrooms. There's something about grilled vegetables, not just with the taste that you get at the end, but it's the look. I mean, come on, look at this. It's just beautiful. And when you look at something this beautiful that smells this good for long enough, you realize pretty soon it's time to taste. So now the question becomes, what do I start with? Like I said, if I get grilled vegetables on a plate with steak or something else like that, ribs, pulled pork, I will go for the vegetables first. I just love them. So with these three, I think I'm gonna start with the mushroom. Now I said when I was out at the kettle that I like to treat the mushroom when it's done like almost like a little piece of meat and put some sauce on it. And that's what I have on it today. I put on some Texas pepper sauce from Flaps 20. Oh man, that sauce just sets this off. You have that Italian seasoning flavor underneath all that, but a mushroom just feels like you're eating a piece of meat after you've grilled it like that. That's why you'll see some people actually make mushroom burgers with big portobello mushrooms like that. All right, time to move on to the peppers. Now you see all that black char on there? Some people don't like to eat that, and you can take that off if you want. I love that. I think that's flavor. So sweet. All you need is that little hit of salt and pepper in that olive oil because there's such inherent flavor in these peppers. All right, it's zucchini time. Not mushy, perfect little bite to it, but soft all the way through. If you like yours softer, you can cook it longer. You don't like it soft like that, just give it that initial grill and take it off. I like to soften it enough so it's almost like you've steamed it, but you have that terrific grill flavor on the outside. And you sure get that rub flavor. It's almost like a little green rib. Now, if you don't want to do these over charcoal, you can do them on the gas grill. I just think there's something really nice about cooking over charcoal or wood. I think it gives you a little extra flavor on vegetables, just like it would on any piece of meat. But definitely if you have got a gas grill and that's simpler for you, go ahead and do that. So these are my favorite grilled vegetables that I've shown you today. And let me tell you, they make a meal all by themselves. I don't know, a steak wouldn't hurt with them.